So thank you all for coming forward. Well, today's an intergenerational service, so you're going to be staying here for the whole time. But you know how you often, after the time for all ages, you leave and go to your religious education class with our wonderful teachers like Marcy and Diane and Maeve? Well, often a ritual we do once a month as adults, we do joys and concerns. Are any of you familiar with the idea of roses and thorns? No? Roses and thorns is something you do, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to invite you to think of something, a thorn being something that's maybe sad for you, maybe it's hurting you, maybe you're angry about, maybe you're disappointed about. And the rose is something that you're excited about, that you're really happy about, you're really looking forward to. So that's what a rose is, and that's what a thorn is. Now, what we adults do is we share it, spoken into the microphone. I'm using the blue mic for this. And they come up and they take a stone and they place it into the water. And that's the water's really the community that we have here. And the stone's our joy or a struggle. And we feel that by placing it in there, it's symbolic of by sharing it, it makes us feel that a joy is amplified and greater, and something that's, a concern is something that's maybe by sharing it with the community, it seems a little bit less hurt by it. So I'm going to invite each of you to come up and share a joy or a thorn. And I want to share a thorn I have. Most of you know I ride my bike here mornings and take the train, then ride home. I got my bike stolen out the garage last week. And I started off feeling really sad about it. And then I got really angry, like, how could someone do that? So that's my thorn for this week, is I got my bike stolen. But my rose is, I get to see all of you. And I know being able to share that with you, I already feel less angry and less sad about it. And I put in this final stone for all those joys and concerns, roses and thorns that remain in the heart and are too quiet to be spoken right now. Water is an important metaphor in many religious traditions. It's an important symbol. And it's got a variety of meanings, in ancient Hebrew scriptures, water was a symbol of chaos, floods, and unpredictability, droughts. It's also been used for purification, for cleansing, for sanitizing. Cleaning wounds is an important part so the wounds don't become infected. But water can be nutritional, can be replenishing. And that's what I would really like to explore now. And water today in this ceremony is going to be symbolic of our community. Without you here, the religious community is not really a reality until we come together in service to one another. So it's a drought. Until we come together, then religious community becomes manifest. And people often say to me, we come to UUFRC for community. And I get that. And often the question I ask is, but what's the community for? We want community, but what's the community for? And I think a community is a place of replenishment, rejuvenation, sustenance, cleansing, restoration, and transformation. And ultimately, it's a place for healing from the struggles of our world and the challenges that life throws at us. So today, water is a ritual that represents how our community nourishes, supports each of us. And as I said, life throws challenges at us. Your mode of transport gets stolen. health issues, loss of loved ones, loss of jobs, economic activity. There are challenges get thrown at us continually. So I want you to we're going to take some time. For those of you online, if you're willing, could you enable your cameras? And Anna's going to put you into breakout rooms with one other person. And I want you to really share what's a personal struggle right now that you would like to work on. What's a personal struggle you would like to work on? As we begin this church year, I think one of our goals for this year is like, how can each of us increase our spiritual capacity? How can we increase our spiritual capacity for joy, for kindness, for generosity, for justice, for equity, for pluralism? How can we increase our spiritual capacity? And that's going to be the focus of this church year. Right now, I want you to highlight one struggle, and then discuss that. And then once you're finished discussing it in pairs, take 2 minutes each. Write it down in the water drop. And then after the hymn, we'll invite you forward to drop it into one of the wooden bowls. And we will read them anonymously. Blythe and I will read those anonymously. If you ever want to talk to me or the pastoral care team about the struggle you share, please reach out to us, or you can put your name on the piece of paper. Otherwise, you can keep it anonymous. If you put your name on the piece of paper, the pastoral care team will follow up with you, or I will follow up with you. So thank you. I saw you put the question up there. So the question's up there. So now split into pairs. I know this is going to be awkward for those of you in the sanctuary. The breakout rooms will be much easier for this. But try and just keep your voices down and try and connect with someone that you would like to speak to. If you don't want to connect with someone, would like the time just to sit and reflect, cross your arms, and we will spare you. So let's get into pairs right now. So now take some time to write down on your water drop your struggle. And as I say, if you would like help, you can put your name on it, and the pastoral care team or myself will reach out to you. If you want to leave it anonymous, but all of them will be read by Blythe and I anonymously. So we'll now have a chance to share. And what we're going to invite you to do is to come forward, starting at the back, the very back row, come down the side aisles, come forward, and basically grab a stone and place it into the glass bowl and put your note into one of the 2 small wooden bowls at the side. So starting at the back, come forward, put your note in there in the small bowls, and take a stone from here and place it in the glass bowl. I invite you now to join me in the spirit of prayer. These are the words of Martyr Valentine. We come to gather strength from each other. We come to give strength to each other. We come to ask for strength from the Spirit of all that is. When our hearts sing or when they frown, it's a way of compassion telling us to give. It's a way of peace telling us to share our gifts. For we are happiest and most powerful when love is made apparent in, to, and through us. Spirit of the circle which is loved, as we twirl in this dance that is life, we give thanks for reminding us that each day our task is ministering to one another with a searching glance, a safe touch, a generous smile, or a thoughtful word. Thank you for reminding us that we are always building our beloved community. Thank you for reminding us that through our covenant with you, we covenant with each other, and through that we are made whole. In gratitude, we celebrate with open hearts and minds. We discover who we are, separate from each other and within one another. In the circle that holds all life, may we ever work towards widening its boundaries until there are none left outside our circle of concern. Blessed be, and amen. There's water at the water communion. This is water from last year's water communion. It's been boiled and filtered. It's been used for the past year as the water for our joys and concerns that we do the first Sunday of the month. We use the water from the water communion, and I often recycle it. Though sometimes the worship associates who are too good at their job throw it out before I get the chance. But here are our struggles. Here is our community. Our struggles are held in this community. Water can be cleansing, it can be nourishing, it can be replenishing, it can be rejuvenating. And that's what we hope this community can be for each of us, with the struggles that we have held. We have heard in these struggles which this community now holds. I'm going to bless this water. These are the words of my colleague, Reverend Tracy Johnson. Blessed water, source of life, of which we are wondrously made, source of sustenance, quenching our inner thirst, source of refreshment, cooling our bodies, source of restoration in dry times, penetrating hard surfaces, rejuvenating, cleansing. Blessed water, source of life, we honor this collection of water today, not because of its individual sources, but because it is gathered here in this place, in this act of mingling our separate lives, our personal encounters with life-giving waters. We symbolize the coming together of this body of blessing and hope, this body of joy and commitment. As these waters are joined, so too we join. We offer our blessing on this coming together of people, a blessing upon intentions as we gather in celebration and struggle, week to week, month to month, through the coming year. May our connections be as these drops of water gently held in the common space of this, our community home. May we find this place refreshing, rejuvenating, sustaining, cleansing, and restoring. I want you to take a minute. I know we're running long, but I want you to take a minute and think, how can the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Redwood City help you with your struggles? What can we do? How can we grow your spiritual capacity to become more resilient in the face of the struggles, in the face of a world that may strive to keep us down and not allow us to flourish as we all wish? So please take a minute in silence right now to reflect on what can we do as we come back into this space, this time, this moment. Invite each of us to think, how do we want in this coming year to grow our spiritual capacity, our spiritual capabilities, our spiritual strength? What do we need in response to the world and our struggles? We are here for each other. We are all loved and lovable. And however hard our struggles, we are here to hold you through this space. I'm sorry we did not get the chance to share. Time marched on. invite you all to leave and get a drink of water at some point. I know I've been talking about the water ceremony all week, and I'm totally dehydrated, right? But water, that hydration of our body, that hydration of our spirit, that hydration of our soul, is the spiritual work that each of us are called to do. So may we do that with love, compassion, and the ever striving goal of justice for everyone.